The Bash with Kate and James.
98.9 Northwest FM. Yes, it is the Bash for another episode here on a Thursday night. Now, Big Mama's Boy, as promised, tonight we can chat not only to the writer but also the producer and the star of the film. It's my very pleasure to have him on the line, Mr. Frank Lotito. How are you?
Good, James. How are you, mate?
I'm well. You sound a bit tired, though.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little. Actually, it's the first night in a week that I've been home. I've been on a bit of a whirlwind tour with Holly Valance promoting the film.
You've been
Australia.
All around Australia, actually. In fact, thanks very much for coming on the late night radio show.
That's okay, my pleasure.
And how many interviews have you done? Do you have a count?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
You've lost track.
I've lost track. We've done a lot of press interviews and a few TV spots and radio spots. So it's been pretty good. Holly's done much more than me, obviously.
Well, she's better looking.
She's a wanted woman.
Big Mama's Boy, it's a big dream come true for you.
It is, mate.
It's 5 years in the making.
Yep.
Now, what's it like, after 5 years, producing something that's commercially released all around Australia? What's the buzz like?
Look, it is. It's a dream come true. It's overwhelming. I mean, you were there at the premiere on Tuesday night at Crown Casino, and it was a little emotional, especially having a lot of friends and family in the audience watching the film for the first time. You're basically putting yourself out there.
That's
really,
it.
And for criticism, look, I think it was a wonderful response, better than we expected. To be honest, it was. I felt like a Hollywood star. People wanting to take photos and autographs and all that sort of stuff. So when you get that, you know that you've done something right and people are liking it. So
it certainly has struck a chord with all the media around. There was tons of media at the premiere. I mean, going through some of the cast, it's a wonderful cast that you've got. You've got Holly Valance, Carmelina Di Guglielmo, who plays a wonderful mama, George Campagnaro, Costas Gillis, Maria Venuti, Pia Miller, Steve Mazarkas, Jim Russell. I mean, the list is endless, really.
Yeah, look, it's amazing. We have so much talent in this country. And we just don't, those actors and those group of talented actors just don't have the opportunity to work constantly because we just don't have, we don't have those opportunities. So it's wonderful to put them all in a film and get them up on screen. It's a real hoot seeing a lot of my, my favourite actors and comedians together in one film. George Campagnaro, for instance, I've been a huge fan of his for many years, and I met him probably 15 years ago, I think, and we kicked it off and we've worked together. And I said to him a couple of years ago, I said, George, I'm going to write a film and I'm going to write a part for you, and he's like, yeah, whatever, mate. And of course, a couple of years later, I sent him a script with his part written.
Yeah.
He plays Theo, the Rocco's boss, the real estate agent, and he read the script and loved it and jumped on board, and that was a real hoot for me because, it's an amazing experience, and he's great in the film.
Carmelina Di Guglielmo, who you cast as your mum.
Yes.
How many actors did you see for the mama role?
Look, we cast, almost all over Australia for a couple of the roles, especially the mama role, and it was very, very hard to cast. Obviously, there's not a lot of opportunities in Australian television and film for those type of roles, so they have, those kind of actors hardly exist. So it's quite a difficult task. But I knew Carmelina for many years, and I thought, because she's done a lot of theatre in the past, but I just always thought, while we were casting, I thought she was a bit young for the role. But, as we were going and it was getting harder and harder to find the right person, I sort of gave it a go and called her up and asked her to come in for an audition. And lo and behold, she came in character and makeup and wardrobe, and she showed up with a lasagna.
You took the words out of my mouth, Greg. I was going to say, I actually imagined all the mamas coming and trying to seduce you with, food just to get the role, a bit of salami, a bit of lasagna.
She did it. She had us at lasagna. So
that's why you got her on.
That's why we got her. No, she did a wonderful job, and of course with a bit of makeup and grey in the hair. Nonna was another hard one to cast, of course, an old Italian grandfather. But Osvaldo Maione does a great job. He actually steals the show, I think.
Look, he's got some very funny lines, very funny moments. And I think, those kind of characters, like the nonno, the granddad, there's so many like them, around, all over Australia, but it's hard to get one on screen that really does the trick for the film.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it has to feel natural and look real, and of course, comic timing is everything.
Absolutely.
On camera, yeah.
And now, Frank, I've got to get a little bit personal with you.
Sure.
Holy Valance, how's your wife feel about, a little bit of kissing with the Holy Valance thing?
Look, it's acting, James.
Of course.
It's acting. Even though it took a few takes to get it right, more than a few takes to get it right, it's no, she's fine with it. I mean, I guess it's part of the job, isn't it?
It is a comedy, right? And from the trailer, you pick up that there's going to be a lot of funny moments. But one of my favourite moments in the film is actually not a very funny moment at all. It's a scene between you and your mother when you finally leave and you embrace each other and you leave. And it's a very emotional scene. And although there's so many laughs that are great, it still remains as something that sort of touches the heart, that scene.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of heart in this movie. I guess even though it's a romantic comedy, it's also, a love story between mother and son. Obviously there's that type of love is very different and only exists between mother and son. So it's a hard thing, for anyone to leave their mother at any age.
Well, that scene is very touching, very well done, and it also, if you really let yourself go to the film, it even brings you some goosebumps to watch that scene, because it if you've gone through that experience,
it
does remind
James,
you.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you've left.
I left a while ago.
How old are you, James?
24.
24.
No, a bit older than that now.
Well, I guess it has to happen one day.
Yeah, that's right. When you write a film, you produce the film, you write the film, you're in the film, but you haven't directed the film, so you need to hand that over to somebody. And you had AFI award winner Franco Di Chiaro, who did a wonderful job with it. Well, what's it like, handing that baby over and sort of saying, now make something of this kind of thing?
Oh, look, Franco Di Chiaro was great. It's obviously film is a very collaborative process, and being the writer and the producer, I have a lot of responsibility. But you do at some stage have to hand that responsibility over to heads of department, as a director and stuff. And of course, being an actor in it, that for me was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And Franco really helped that.
Look, it's a wonderful job. I can't, even though I've seen it a couple of times already through test screenings and at the premiere, can't wait till it comes out at the cinema and everyone can go and get a chance to have a look at it. We at the Bash, we're a huge supporter of the film. We're giving away tickets a little bit later on. We've had tickets in the past being given away. So we're going to continue to do that and support the Big Mama's Boy.
And I appreciate it, James. You've done a wonderful job at promoting the film. There's a lot of people have talked about it and said, I've heard about it through the Bash and all that sort of stuff. So it's really good. It's important that, I guess, with this type of film, an Australian film, it's so hard to compete against the US films that come out, so it's important that people get behind an Aussie film. And look, it's a light-hearted comedy that you can just go and see and let yourself go and have some fun with and just forget about your problems for an hour and a half and just enjoy yourself. Yeah, so,
and I look forward to seeing more of your big head on big billboards around the city, which are great to see.
There's a few. Hey, do me a favour, get Natalie Goucher to sing for you over the phone.
I'll see what I can do.
Tell her Frank said I should get you to sing.
I'll give it a go. Frank, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure, James.
Frank Lotito from the Big Mama's Boy feature film, which opens July 28th nationally. Don't miss it. Go check it out. It's a great film.